Coming up on Footy Feed Year in Review, big stories.
From Cyril's shock retirement to the Crows off-season camp, a year of headlines from AFL.com.au. You're watching Footy Feed Year in Review. Hey, is anyone on a camping holiday? Nat Edwards.
Thanks, Matt. Great intro. Nick, Bowen and Mitch Cleary with us as well as we discuss some of the hot topics from 2018. And Nick, we will start about this Adelaide pre-season camp. It was the camp that just kept giving. Yeah,
it was, Nat, wasn't it? It was bizarre. If you believe half of what you heard with the rumours and then half of what was reported. It was a wacky old event, wasn't it? I mean, handcuffs, blindfolds on buses, being forced to listen to repeats of the Richmond Club
Can't really say what was wrong with that.
Well, I mean, I think these things, Matt, are meant to be bonding experiences for the players and also meant to motivate them for the next year. And if you've got all these players having massive issues with it, well, everyone reacts to these things differently, and that's a problem. You just haven't got that the result across the whole group.
And it really coincided with a poor year of form for the Crows. This was the year they were meant to bounce back after that grand final defeat. They took it all so personally, and so many players were still dealing with it as the year went on, and they just couldn't get on the park. The injuries, the hamstring crisis continued to take its toll as well. So,
a wasted year because they're an older team, and they loaded up with Bryce Gibbs, who was a great recruit, but they're getting older. Eddie Betts is getting older, Taylor Walker, all the key players. So they've really got to make, try and get a flag in the next couple of years, and 2018 certainly wasted.
Now, Nat, this shocked you to the core.
Yes, it did. Cyril Rioli's retirement, a Norm Smith medalist, four-time premiership player, mid-season. Did that shock you, though? I mean, I know I'm a Hawthorn supporter, and it shocked those in the brown and gold, but what about you, Mitch?
Yeah, absolutely. Who would have predicted that Cyril Rioli wouldn't be playing AFL footy the back end of 2018? The Hawks made the finals. They went out in straight sets. Sorry to say, Nat, but he would have been a massive...
No, you're not.
He would have been a massive addition to that side in the finals, and now he goes home to Darwin, where he wants to return. He always said he was going to return, but late in his 20s.
Yeah, there's always a sense, Mitch, though, that he wasn't going to play into his 30s, or certainly later into his 30s, I think, that he was going to be someone who would get out sooner rather than later, get out on top. But yeah, certainly this was not the timing we expected.
There's a couple of stories that we're not ignoring in this segment deliberately, but they're kind of still unfolding, so we're not going to touch on them. But one of the big off-field stories of the year was Jordan De Goey, all the way back at the start of the season when he was pinged for drink driving.
Jordan De Goey, who would have thought at the start of the year when that drink driving charge went down that he'd be such a focal point for that side in the grand final. So massive story at the time, Jordan De Goey, and we thought he was suspended by the club, forced to go through, went to work as a labourer, did work with the Salvation Army, did all that sort of stuff, and then came back and he was a key figure in the grand final chase.
To the extent, Mitch, that he had offers of $1 million a season on the table from clubs sort of like North Melbourne and St Kilda. So his form and the type of player he is as well, I think being able to play in the midfield, but being that one-on-one guy in the forward line is so hard to stop. He is almost what you want, the prototype these days, and what a great finish to the year. We're
almost out of time, but the day Gillon McLachlan went on radio and floated the idea of trialling rule changes in real premiership games, it was almost like the world ended.
You're like a headless chook in the newsroom at the back, Tomo, but he finally got their way. 666 is going to be introduced. The 18-metre goal square, Nick, that almost got over the line, but reverted back to normal.
I think there was certainly some resistance at commission level on that one, wasn't there? And look, yeah, and I think that, look, when you go back to Gill's comments, I think that certainly took people upstairs by surprise as well. I think that he was it'd certainly been discussed, but I think he was going off script a little bit. But I like the changes for next year. I think that particularly some of the extra space people are going to have in the back line to kick out and to take their kicks from the boundary line, that sort of thing, should give them a little bit more room, I think, to get out and not get locked inside those defensive 50s.
We look forward to seeing them unfold. Nick, Mitch, thanks for joining us, and thank you for watching this episode of Footy Feed Year in Review. We'll have plenty more in the coming days as we count down to season 2019. Stay tuned here on AFL.com.au and the AFL Live app.